Raccoon searching high and low.
Keep going.
The
Keep going.
To make him go. When I catch him in my trap, gonna make me a raccoon nap.
And he pulls out a machete.
He pulls out a massive machete.
ALPHANUMERIC. ReBoot. Bob made me a guardian to mend and defend. That's my job now. And what am I supposed to be?
Hey, we ask the questions around here.
Never mind. It will be glorious.
Over here, big boy.
You've got to face the facts, Sugar. Bob's not here. We're down a guardian and on our own.
Salivations, ex-humans, and welcome to another edition of ALPHANUMERIC, a reboot podcast where we discuss ReBoot, the 90s television show, every episode of every season from 1 until 4, and maybe even that other season that no one wants to remember at all. Today on the show, we'll... What?
What?
What does he say?
What?
I don't know.
The best season, right?
The best season. That was so good that even Gavin Blair doesn't want to take credit for it. I'm pretty sure he wasn't involved. Anyways, yes, today we are going to be discussing season 3, episode 2, Between a Raccoon and a Hard Place. That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Original air date, I believe, was August 27th, 1997. And I am your host, AP Sniddler.
And I am another host, Christopher Siege.
And I am the last host, NeoCal.
The last host.
The last host on the left.
Yes. Yes. So yes, today
That's where
we're
we dress up like women and make social commentary skits, right?
Yeah, why not, right? So in this episode, we have little guardian Enzo, and up against a rabid raccoon.
Yep.
But before that, who wants to? Anyone have anything to add?
Don't worry, Christopher. I got your, your reference.
What?
I wasn't worried.
Last house on the left reference.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never worry.
There's actually a podcast called The Last Podcast on the Left. It's like a...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a... I think it's a true crime podcast or something. I don't know. I've never listened to it. I've just heard them make fun of it on Sick and Wrong. The Sick and Wrong podcast. A show I've been listening to since 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
I
what
even
do we got
appeared on
here?
an episode of it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was a guest host on, I think it was episode 761. It was a while ago
The
now.
only episode of it that I listened to.
Yeah.
So, this is the first alphanumeric video where we all have our video up.
Yes, we all have webcams.
Yes.
That's right. What a
And-
shocking day and age we live in.
What a time to be alive.
Yes, so if you're
Yeah.
one of our fans listening to the audio-only version of this, we are on video, all three of us now, for the first time ever.
True.
Yes. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, go to the Lasercomb Productions YouTube channel, which there will be a link to in the show notes. Or you can just go to YouTube and type in Lasercomb, LAZORCOMB, or ALPHANUMERIC, a reboot podcast. It'll be there. You'll find it.
It's also like, like the whole never meet your heroes. Maybe it's better if you never see what they look like.
Oh, come now.
Well, I mean, maybe it is better. I don't know.
Well, it's a
People
little
don't
late
wanna
for that
see
now.
this. Oh, yeah, that's true. We're up. We're on. We're
Live in living color.
live in living
Yeah.
color.
Speaking of living color, Mike the TV is like narrating the beginning of this episode.
Kinda, yeah. It's a kind of a
Making
horrible
commentary.
situation. There's a bunch of mayhem in the state of Mainframe.
Something is
people are
rotten in the state of Mainframe.
Something is rotten in the state of Maine.
And Enzo's taking out the trash.
Not
Yeah,
quite
and
yet.
hack and or slash are like mobster bullying tactics, like trying to censor like the TV
They're shutting them
from
down.
reporting the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
Basically, what's happening right now is there's a game, and Enzo tried to get to it, but Megabyte's thugs kept stopping him. So basically, everybody's in a huge panic because Enzo's not in the game, the Guardian is not in the game, and they're all freaking out because they're afraid an entire sector is going to get nullified.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
Also, I feel it's worth pointing out that this episode was written by Len Wein, the creator of Wolverine.
oh, that's cool.
I've seen his name pop up a few times recently because on our other podcast, Too Much Energon, which Cal is sporting some merch for currently, he wrote some episodes of that recently.
I'm shooting eye lasers in this shirt. It's pretty fucking rad.
Fucking eye lasers.
And wearing an uh-oh t-shirt. You can't really see it though.
Yeah.
Good old uh-oh.
I'm the only one in this show not sporting a podcast t-shirt. I am sporting a freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy t-shirt.
I was going to say, that looks like that's a great Kevin Costner shirt. You're wearing there, Christopher.
Wow.
From like the nose up. I was like, who is that? Kevin Costner? Hero
I've seen
of
Kevin
the
Costner with hair
famous
like that.
Waterworld?
See, I was trying to put together a reference for Dances with Wolves. And you
That
just
would've been
immediately go to Waterworld. I'm thinking like Dances with Wolves, Wyatt Earp, Open Range, Man of Steel.
Right.
Yeah.
I went with the
The Postman.
Love of the game.
I went with
The love of the game, yeah. Bull Durham.
popular.
Yeah.
The most popular of his movies, Waterworld.
Westerns and baseball
That's a great
films.
movie. I don't care what anybody says. It's all right. Where are we?
The GameCube just wiped out a chunk of Mainframe.
Yeah,
And
there's
it kind of shows all of the binomes, the mainframians kind of like picking up looking for survivors, and because it doesn't just nullify people in
and
the game.
to this place.
It
takes the
destroys. Yeah.
It takes a chunk out of the ground and the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So it shows them kind of. We see Took Guy and others kind of like going through the rubble, trying to
Captain Picard
trying to help.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Captain Picard.
Captain Picard is trying to clean up all the. Oh, he's throwing rocks.
Oh man, there was a quick shot of a binome that looked like it was trying to perform CPR on another one, like doing the.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that at all.
That's tragic.
That is tragic. That's why I was like,
things are not BS&P in this season, and I freaking love it. What?
Yeah,
so
it's
Megabyte
like
is just
yeah, it's
also,
like
it's a Cyrus with no hair. It's
so
kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a binome in a fedora hat, and he looks like he's like trying to perform CPR on a CPU.
Huh.
I'm gonna go back.
Doesn't really matter. It's just something that I happened to notice, and I'm like,
Things
oh
that
god.
I wish I had seen. No.
So the gist of this scene is Megabyte threatening them to hand over their, what are they called? PIDs? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't comply, he'll mess them up. And speaking of BS&P, one of them says, "We'll fight you for it every breath we have." And he goes, "Oh, really? That's a shame." And he commands one of the hover tanks, and it shoots a green laser,
and he's gone.
He's just gone.
This is his boots left, and they're smoldering.
Yeah. So right away, they're just killing people.
Yeah.
It's a different season, folks.
Megabyte is a tyrant. Megabyte is evil. And now, in this season, like we saw some of it in last season, what he was capable of. But in this season, we're kind of going, oh, okay. this is getting a little terrifying.
So, to me, this kind of contradicts his propaganda campaign against Enzo, because like he's quite clearly the villain in this case.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So how anybody would be against Enzo when he's like literally all they got is a little confusing, but I guess they feel like Bob's gone, like Dot can't really like help them with games. Enzo is like hit or miss. So I can see how they're giving in to despair.
Well, yeah, and like, yeah, Megabyte's clearly the bad guy in this situation, but also like discrediting Enzo like kind of breaks the citizens of Mainframe even further, because like there's really no hope. Because like the Guardian, they don't have a Guardian, and like a real Guardian, and the Guardian that they have is kind of a joke.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a repeat.
I think he's all right.
No, I mean like that's the perception.
Oh, the perception. He can't even make it in all the games. Yeah.
Well, and like the episode actually even opened with a in an alley with a poster that had a photo of Enzo cross-eyed, and someone wrote Guardian Schmardian on it.
That's great. I like how there's one dude doing propaganda, and it's like petty graffiti. Like, like I'm 14 and this is edgy.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I like how he's like, a job for what's that guy's called?
It's like when you're like 14 and like at a bus stop or something, and like just like writing with like a Sharpie, like blah 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 sucks or whatever.
Or you have a name like you have a graffiti name, but you never actually learned how to do graffiti.
Yeah,
I see that all around.
You just have a tag. I knew so many people like that when I was a teenager.
And they would use the whiteout
graffiti these days. You don't.
I disagree.
The graffiti artists are hired. They're usually like purposely paid to paint the side of buildings downtown, and then they go over it with a clear coat. So
there's tons of illegal graffiti downtown.
You know what had a lot of? Well, it's gonna become local talk here.
Yeah,
but Christopher, I'm not sure if when you lived here, but when I lived in Nanaimo, there were like legitimately good graffiti artists around there, and I'd always be like, how do they have the time or money to like do some of these projects?
Yeah, I don't really recall.
Victoria's got some though, some creative ones. As long as it's not like spelling like sex or fuck or cunt or just stupid like swears, and it's like it looks cool, I think it adds to things. But when it's just one person using one color, just like white or black, and they're just writing like Slayertron or whatever their shitty graffiti handle is. What bugs me is when there's decent graffiti
Magna
and someone else and somebody else laser comb. When I don't like it when there's good graffiti and
hey, that would be free advertising.
Well,
yeah,
get on
hey.
that, Christopher.
Let's meet up.
I'm not doing anything. Maybe I'll learn. Yeah, it bugs me when shitty graffiti artists tag over decent graffiti artists.
There's lots of that downtown too.
I hate that. Fuck off, guys.
Like murals that like graffiti artists have like made, and then someone like comes along and just like spray paints like "bitch please" or something, or on top of it
something stupid.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to catch one of those kids as like a security guard or a cop, I imagine.
It's probably not even kids. It's probably like the druggies downtown.
Street people. It's like 38-year-old like dudes who managed to get a hold of black spray paint.
Yeah, that they probably stole from Home Hardware.
Who's the shitty propaganda guy in this? What's his name again? He's got the black hair.
It's Cyrus.
Cyrus, right?
The shoe shine droid.
Yeah.
Guardian Schmardian.
Cyrus the virus. Oh wait, that's Con Air.
Oh yeah.
Right. Much cooler character. So they're in the principal office, and Fong
Yeah.
kind of does a like inspirational speech, but Dot interrupts him. Are you guys at that part?
Yeah. Where we have
Because they're like, "Oh, what do
Fong-
we do?" And they're all kind of going back and forth, and like, not too important of dialogue.
Fong's like, what we need is a hero, a light to lead them out of the darkness, or something like that. It was a really big.
Yeah, and there's like
Thing.
motivational music playing in the background, and he's like gesturing with his
Like
hands.
Fong fingers. Fong.
I'm kind of lost because you guys started off the episode like completely skipping over the beginning. So I've been trying to figure out exactly where we are since.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been
we
trying to
got
line
it
up
over
with
the
where
mic
Cal's
the
been-
TV part.
But like that isn't even the beginning
Yeah,
of the
that's
episode.
not the beginning.
There's like a couple of minutes before that.
Really?
That's
Did
why.
I actually
That's why
skip
I.
that?
That's why I backtracked
This
to
is
go
why
to
you
the
guys shouldn't
beginning.
let me lead the fray. Oh, I did accidentally.
That's why I
jump
had
a
to
little
backtrack
ahead.
and then go back to the actual catch up to where you were.
Yeah, so for a
there's-
while, like when I was at the beginning of the
So,
episode, and
we
you were-
actually didn't
We're
miss
not at the
anything.
beginning. Like,
when we were at
No.
the beginning of the episode, and you guys were talking about like hack and slash, like trying to strong arm Mike the TV. Like I was like, are you guys on a different episode? For a second there.
I'm looking at it again now, and there's the propaganda poster.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then everyone's in disarray, and then the game goes up and says like user wins, and then Mike the TV part comes on. So I kind of yada yada'd over that part. I was like, oh, like mainframe's in disarray, and
Yeah.
a GameCube goes up and it says the user wins. Like I kind of
yada yada my
jumped.
episode.
I yada yada the best part. You can't yada yada the best part.
Yeah, it's not that we like skipped over anything important. I was just kind of confused at first.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and then at the 4 minute mark is when Cyrus, I must have looked away or looked into the camera for a second or something. It shows Cyrus putting out those
The
posters.
Guardian Schmardian posters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we are now.
And now we're in the principal office.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Whoa.
We're on the same
We're here.
page.
Welcome to
Welcome to this week's episode of Alphanumeric. I'm one of your hosts.
And
Are we
this
starting
episode
again?
with
No.
Dot has a tattoo.
Free ballin'.
Sorry, what?
Dot has a tattoo.
Oh, she does.
Jump to like 420, and
Hang on.
you could see her talking to Enzo, and she's got like a tattoo on her shoulder.
Oh my gosh, he does. See this tribal.
She also looks cool
icon.
in that spy suit. The spy suit she's
It's
wearing.
her sneaking suit.
Huh.
There's the reference for
There
the
it is,
week.
folks.
Dun dun dun
There's
dun
our-
dun dun dun.
It's a good sneaking suit.
Yeah.
Their character design in this season is pretty stellar.
Yeah.
Like Mouse is like bronze-ish, like colored, like
Xena.
almost like
outfit.
skeletal Xena warrior princess
Yeah,
armor.
Yeah.
Dot stealth suit.
Yeah.
Enzo's guardian outfit. I like it.
Andrea
Yeah.
still looks the same.
Her design was so good that they don't need to change it.
It is. It's Don't.
Yeah.
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 If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's got so much going on. She's got like the shell, like armor piece on the front, and like a starfish in her hair. She's cool looking.
Yeah.
I think they were going for a like she's not from Mainframe, and just like Mouse is like purple and orange. Like
Yeah.
her being like orange and AndrAIa being orange and aqua is very. It makes her feel like she is from the game that she's from. I think.
Yeah. Well,
If-
yeah.
yeah.
She's from an
The
undersea game.
mermaid didn't give that away.
Yeah.
I didn't
The,
notice she
the
was
big
orange, though.
seashell on her torso. Oh yeah, so in this scene, Enzo's like all confused about like why people are turning against him, and Mouse is like, "Oh, it's propaganda, Megabyte to a T. So be it. We must fight." And Fong's like, "We must fight fire with fire. Turn Enzo into a hero."
Yeah. This is very
Zero to
inspirational.
hero.
Inspirational
Just like that.
speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We must make Enzo
Yeah.
a living icon for the citizens of Mainframe. The user must not win another game.
I'm like, Dot's already a pretty good icon.
Yeah.
I understand like the idea of a guardian though, right? Like everybody needs like a leader.
A light to lead them out of the darkness. A beacon. I like how Fong's like throwing his arms
Yeah.
up in the air, like all theatrically.
Arms everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we had jumped ahead to.
Yeah.
And they interrupt him because what's the word I'm looking for? Dot's like is pragmatic the word?
Mm.
Like she's very.
Uh,
Am I just making up definitions of words now?
possibly. I don't know.
But she interrupts him and she's like, "Well, that's not realistic because the games are dangerous." Pragmatic means dealing with things sensibly and realistically.
Yeah, that's pragmatism.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And
Are you suggesting Enzo fights the user alone?
and Enzo says this, but like I agree with him. Like he's won like a bunch of games. He's made the difference between winning or losing.
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah.
And the problem, I guess, which they introduced last episode, was that Mouse and AndrAIa, they don't really know what will happen to them if they go in a game because they're not mainframers.
Yeah.
Their icons work like a little bit differently.
Yeah.
They might not be. They might get taken away with the game because they're not local to the system.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, especially with AndrAIa
And-
being a game sprite, and
Yeah.
Mouse
That
is
makes me wonder: would she just be deleted, or would she be stuck in that particular game?
I think she would just leave with the game and be stuck in it.
Yeah.
Because not to jump too far ahead, but that might become
A thing.
a plot
When they
device
backhack.
in
And
in
they
a
backhack.
in an episode
her
coming
icon.
up fairly soon. Like I think in a couple of weeks here.
I can't believe how fast this is moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and Mouse's icon isn't formatted. Her PID isn't formatted for Mainframe, so she can't reboot.
They do some science here where they like take Enzo's guardian icon and AndrAIa's like triangular icon, and they do up a science. I guess it's a program Mouse designed.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
reprograms the game sprite icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, you see it change.
Yeah, she's able to hack hack Enzo's guardian icon and like download some code from it into
Straight up turns that little triangle that she has for an icon into just a black and white mainframe icon.
I like how AndrAIa's icon says AI on it.
I just noticed that.
Yes. Oh, that is true. I noticed
Well,
it, but
no,
never brought it up. I figured it was.
I noticed the symbol, like in the shape of it, multiple times, but I never really looked like letters to me. I guess.
Yeah, that may have just been something they added for this episode, because I'm just noticing it now too. But
When it's close.
it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Enzo says cool. And yeah.
Yeah, so
Mouse
they
kind of warns them that it's she hoped though, but it's not like proven yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. AndrAIa's like, cool. Does this mean I can reboot like Enzo? And Mouse is like, maybe. It hasn't been tested, so we'll see.
We did. We did.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Huge risk.
Figure it out.
Huge risk.
We got no way of knowing if they'll work for either of us.
It's a pretty good Mouse impression,
Yeah, it's not
in my
so bad.
opinion.
Thank you.
As good as your Fong impression, which we're allowed to do.
What?
Oh, no. Remember, like it was like season 1. We were like, "Are we allowed to do Fong impressions?" Sure, we
Oh
are.
yeah, right.
He's a mainframer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I raised the point. I'm like, this might be a little ethnically offensive to some, but
At the same time, we're not mocking Fong or whatever his accent is supposed to sound like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
I just realized that Fong has no pupils, and I don't know why I never noticed that before.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, he has no
What?
pupils. His eyes are
He just has little,
purely white.
yeah.
like little gray eyes with
Yeah.
like little like golden like eyebrows around it and the glasses, but like no
Hmm.
pupils. No, like it's very high def this season. Like it goes right up into people's faces and then it like fades and comes out of someone else's face. Like the camera zooms into Fong's face and then like out of Megabyte's face, and I'm like, I used to think
Megabyte's-
he was cool. I don't like him.
So
He's too
Fong or
villainous
Megabyte?
now. He used to just be a scamp, you know?
Oh, Megabyte's just. I love Megabyte. I love to hate him, but I do
Yeah.
love him.
That's how I feel about a lot of robotic characters in mainframe
Yeah.
animations.
and in Mainframe and on planets filled with Energon.
Yeah. Planet Energon, if you will.
Yeah, Planet Energon. A very heinous Megatron in that show in season 2. So Dot's got some like super simple plan that Fong is unsure of whether it'll actually work or not, and Dot's like, it's such a simple plan, how could it fail?
That's how plans work.
That is how plans work, right? The easier they are, the more successful they are. The less thought put into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I'm gonna jump ahead. Megabyte like threatens like his cronies to like block the Guardian or else. So it's that typical trope. Christopher and I have spoken about this before, where like you rule with fear and you like threaten your underlings. And I'm like, how does anything get done? But I don't know to what extent Megabyte's control of them is maintained because he has their PIDs.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher, you brought this up before. Like, is it like they can't say no to him? They have no free will?
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
I think it's
how
that they're
much that
compelled.
affects
They're
them.
compelled to obey him. Like they have like free will to the extent that they're still individuals, but like if he tells them to do something,
Corrupted.
they're compelled to,
Yeah, that makes sense.
even if they don't
turn
want
blue
to.
and
Which
green.
a lot of the times we see his cronies are like clearly don't want to follow the orders they've given him, but they still do anyway.
Can you save them after? Has it mentioned that on the show yet?
What?
Like, can you save them after they've become a viral biome, or is it kind of like it's too late?
I think you can
I
cleanse. You can cleanse viral infected binomes. Yeah.
It would make sense,
Maybe.
but I don't.
I don't
want to jump too far ahead. But
Yeah, I don't know if it's a thing that maybe comes up later in the show, but like,
I can't recall either.
yeah, I feel
We'll
like
find
that
out.
is a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
it does.
I feel like it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what's the plan here?
So,
Boys, we got
so Megabyte has
more
ordered
cutouts.
Megabyte has ordered his cronies to stop Enzo from getting into the next game, basically, because he wants Enzo to fail again, but he makes sure to tell his crony here, who appears
this
to
is
not
important.
be Lieutenant Chauncey, not to
Don't delete him.
Yeah, don't kill the boy. He's far more useful to me alive. For now.
For now.
Yeah. And he's like, he wants the masses to wallow in his ineffectiveness.
Yeah.
Because then they have something else to despair over besides just being afraid of.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than a dead icon or like a martyr is like an ineffectual icon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a useless leader.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the
Well,
point that I was trying to
political
raise
fondly.
earlier.
I feel like we've learned this a lot through recent politics over recent times. That sometimes no leader might actually be better than some leader.
Uh-huh.
No matter how good looking or tall or powerful your handshake is.
Or how small your hands may be.
Or how huge your hair is. All right. And it's like leave my king alone. No.
What?
I'm just kidding. So what I want to know is, okay, so the plan is cardboard cutouts. You have binomes holding cardboard cutouts of Enzo and Dot.
Yeah.
So we
And
got
fuse the
So we get
ABCs.
we get a
CPUs
system warning.
are-
We get a system warning that a game is incoming, and Megabyte
Yeah.
laughs and is like, as if on cue.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
And
funny
so-
because that was my thought too when I was watching the episode the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I know.
I'm like,
It's like,
huh.
oh.
This is an episode of a TV show. How do they make these cardboard cutouts so fast?
Xerox machines. in
Paper
the future.
mache.
Oh, that paper.
Yeah,
mache.
I know. Copy and paste. You know.
Oh, copy and paste function. Yeah.
A copy and paste command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
fair enough.
I mean, they've got
They have their
everything
way.
else in the principal office archives, right?
This is not the supercomputer though, so that's the best they could do.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And
So
one of the little viral binomes like looks at like a little radar, and he's like, "What? We had reports of an Enzo and Dot coming towards the game." And he looks at a radar, and it's like an alien's radar dish with like movement, like little dots.
yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, "We've got 2 more Dot and Enzo, 4, a whole bunch.
The sky is full of Dot and Enzos.
They're on top of us, man."
Game over, man.
Ironically, Dot isn't even among them.
No.
Yeah,
no,
no.
it's Enzo, AndrAIa, and Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're all going into the game because Mouse had mentioned earlier that she would look after Enzo and AndrAIa. And,
Yeah, good for her.
but AndrAIa is all like, no, you don't. Pulls the zip board out from under her feet because she's like, sorry, Mouse, there's no use both risking our lives with untested
Yeah.
icons, basically.
Yeah, at first I was like, "AndrAIa, now your chances of beating the game are much less, though." But at the same time,
I think she believes in her. She believes in Enzo and her abilities.
and her own abilities. That's one thing I
Yeah.
like about AndrAIa. She's very confident in what she can do.
Yeah.
She knows herself well enough to know what she can accomplish.
And
Also,
Mouse
being
is-
a game sprite, much
Oh,
higher
yeah,
chance of
she
winning the
understands
game.
games better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the algorithms and all that. So it's
And-
very
As far
It's
as I know,
handy.
Mouse has never been in a game.
as far as we know, no.
Why would
I
she?
don't-
She acts like she's never been in a game.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's probably better that way. And if she can't come back, it's better that only one of them gets taken out than both.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
she's
Yeah.
from the supercomputer, right? Because Bob is, and her and Bob have a history. So I've said
Right.
before that I think
Yeah.
basically the supercomputer is like an office server. So you're not
Probably.
playing games on the server computers. You're playing games on the workstations, which Mainframe, I've said, is one of the
Yeah.
workstations in this office.
Right.
So, like, if she's from the supercomputer, makes sense. She's not playing games.
Makes sense.
Prove me wrong.
It makes sense. It does make sense.
Listeners, tell me,
Just a theory.
write in and tell me what you write in or comment or tweet at us what you think of my little hypothesis there.
Hypothesis. Also, Christopher's hypothesis is not considering the Guardian code canon.
Not yet, anyway.
Like anything, and yeah, and I couldn't really get into it. I wanted to give it a chance, but I haven't seen any of the Guardian code yet. I don't want to just be like, "Oh, I'll never watch it. It's filth," but like, it's jarringly different.
Yeah.
I'm an old man, dang it. And
We've
two
got some
different
time,
me.
but I feel like it is worth discussing on this podcast eventually.
Well,
I think
yeah, we may discuss it.
for novelty purposes, yeah, we'll have to riff it or something.
And I'll give it the old maximal try.
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
nothing else, like we could, and listeners, we're just like shooting ideas around here. If nothing else, like we could just like, you know, like binge episodes of it, like in a like commentary fashion, as opposed to the way we do
That's
this.
true.
So we could just watch like three.
Oh,
Or,
you could just bang out, yeah.
yeah, we could
Yeah.
watch like 3 or 4 episodes of it like live and just like record our reactions
As
as
we play through it.
yeah, and, like without pausing it or anything like that.
So that way the podcasts covering that are just 22 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I could go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
So
since
this
like
game-
I've seen some of it. I think I've seen the first 6 episodes, but I haven't seen all of it. So it would get to a point
Oh,
very
so
quick.
it's new for you too.
It would get to a
Yeah.
point
Wow.
very quickly where it's new for all of us.
I think I saw a clip. I think it
I
was
saw
on
a clip.
TV at one point.
I saw a clip, and
Yeah.
that was enough. It's not
yeah,
my hashtag not my reboot.
yeah.
Hashtag not
That
my
was it.
reboot.
Yeah, not my reboot.
Hashtag restore the Gavin verse.
There you
Yes.
go.
That's a good,
Speaking of Gavinverse,
tweeting
this is a
it.
completely different game we're in here, folks.
Yeah, we're in a
It's a very what's the word I'm looking for? Looney Tune.
Warner Brothers
There
Wile
you
E.
go.
Coyote type.
Wile E. Coyote-esque
Yeah, type
3D
game.
world.
Yeah.
Like if Wile E. Coyote was a raccoon
Mm.
and it was in a 3D world and it was a game. Good job, Cal. Apt summary.
Yeah.
But it has those vibes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the user we soon find out is a mischievous raccoon. I don't really know what his goal
Right.
is. Haven't watched this in like a week.
Yeah, I don't know what the objective of the
We'll
game.
find out. I think Enzo tells us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched this, I think, like 2 days ago. And I was going to watch it again this morning, as I usually do.
One of those.
But I've had a very busy day. Which usually,
Christopher,
I usually don't have much going on Fridays, like early on Fridays. But today,
But sometimes.
sometimes,
Yeah.
just sometimes,
just realized
a crow can bring the soul
AndrAIa's-
back from the land of the dead.
The hell was I talking about? Oh, I know a lot of people find their the 3D modeling of season 3 a little bit jarring. Like their cheeks are wider and their eyes are bigger,
Oh, really?
right? Like they look a lot different than season 1 and 2. Their
Oh.
eyes are a lot bigger. They have animated eyelashes.
I wasn't aware
And
that people
AndrAIa's
found
are
that
green.
jarring.
Oh, when you just make the switch,
Oh.
people are like, "Oh, everybody looks different. Oh, it's weird."
Oh.
But you adapted to it quickly, and I experienced that too when
Oh,
we
okay.
switched. I didn't think it was bad, right? Like AndrAIa has a very round, youthful face, and her eyelashes are green, which I just noticed. She's got like freckles.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to remember, like back when the show was on, like there was like a 2-year, almost 2-year gap between season 2 and season 3.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
4 or
yeah.
5
Because
and
what
then
this is,
7.
we're in '97 now.
Yeah, we're in late 97. And like season 2 was 95.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
So they definitely had more.
They upgraded,
Yeah.
folks. So
They use that Beast Wars tech.
Exactly. Season 1 of Beast Wars, they learned how to do some ray tracing. They learned how to up their animation game, and then after they did some Beast Wars, they came back and remastered their reboot assets. It looks like,
Yeah.
or just redid them.
Redid them entirely, I would say.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
Here, a cat.
meow.
oh.
So there's a little spit with Andrea and Enzo at the beginning where he's like, "Why would you take Mouse out?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, if Mouse can't leave the game after we win, that's the problem. We don't know what happens to her. But I'm a game sprite. I'll just leave with the game." So to answer my own question from earlier, Andrea confirms what Christopher said.
Yeah.
And she reassures. She does a good job of reassuring Enzo a lot. I've noticed. Like
She's a
I'm
good
actually
support.
starting to like her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, and besides, like we'll do fine. So she's like, better get into character, Enzo.
So Enzo reboots into Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. Who's this old? Have you has in this season the binomes that are stuck in games get really in character?
Oh yeah. It's kind of funny.
I mean, for all we
Was this
know,
guy always a gold prospector?
yeah, for all we know,
Yeah,
he hangs out at Al's diner. You know.
You must. Before
He's
they
like,
reboot.
"You're a new guardian, ain't ya?"
And
Doesn't he make some like he's kind of dismissive toward Enzo, being like, "Oh, you're just a kid" or something
Spits in a
like that.
platoon.
Yeah. spits in a-
everybody, and I just hate it.
You're just a kid.
Yeah.
Enzo's
Before they
like,
reboot,
"Here I am, a
the-
living icon,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
beacon of hope in the dark."
Yeah.
before they reboot, they,
That's frightening
Oh,
me.
you're right.
It's time my enemies share my dread.
Christopher, if you ever wondered what Christopher's quotes are from, I'm sure he will tell you what metal lyrics he's quoting.
Yeah.
What's that from?
It's
That was
some
from
point.
Batman Begins.
I was like, it's either from fucking Batman or it's from a death metal album, and I can never tell with Christopher because you'd be surprised at how those lines blur. I'm like, is that from like The Dark Knight or like some Ammon?
Not enough Viking shit to be an Amon Amarth
no.
song.
Fair, yeah.
See, now that you brought that up, though, now I've got to start intentionally referencing Amon Amarth songs.
Amon Amarth, but looking for lines that could sound like they could come from Batman movies just to fuck with me.
Yes.
Because every time I've thought you've been quoting like death metal lyrics, it's been Batman, and every time I thought you're quoting like a Marvel or like a DC movie, it's been like lyrics from some song. Like every like 3-4
Now we
I'm
just
like,
guess.
or sometimes I won't say anything, and I'll just be like, "What is that from Batman?" Or
Is it from Batman? Metal Gear? I just don't know.
Metal Gear, a Highlander. Just laugh and nod your head. It's one of those three.
Well, now that we're on video, the listeners and the viewers can see you nodding your head in oblivious agreement.
They can see I'm less funny and more actually just accidentally, stupidly funny, less intelligent and more dumb funny than I sound.
Oh, don't
which
sell
is
yourself
pretty.
short.
Okay, I'll sell myself tall.
There you go.
Every joke I make is completely on purpose.
Yes,
I just play a character.
all very calculated.
Yeah, that's why they call me Cal. Everything I do is calculated. 2 out of 10. Anyways, moving on.
Hey, I laughed.
Moving on. Sorry, Sniddler, you were actually making a good point. Before they reboot, we get some science.
Yeah,
On the
before they reboot in the game, we get Air Doctor and
Air Doctor.
and yeah, we're keeping that. And Megabyte, I guess they're back at the tour, the Silicon Tour, and they have the I think this Bino's name is Bunnyfoot, the one with like the one that's like thrown together with like scrap
Like
parts.
the Igor.
The Igor, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, his Bunnyfoot. I think that's his name.
What, does he got a brick on for one foot, and then like he's wearing a bunny
He's
slipper
wearing-
on the
yeah.
other?
So why isn't
Yeah.
he Brickfoot then?
I don't know. I would have called him Brick Bunny.
Bunny Brick.
Bunny Brick. I don't know, something.
What sounds like a Guar character.
Guar, yeah. So, yeah, they're standing over this thing, and it looks like a, I don't know,
A mercury
sphere.
pool.
liquid,
A mercury sphere.
a globule bulb, or something.
Hexadecimal's inside, and she wakes up.
Exactly. So they lift it up out of the ground. This is her treatment, I guess.
She's
Yeah.
different.
And so
Looks way different.
So her treatment, as is revealed, is to finally turn her into a dominatrix. Cal, your dreams have come true.
There you go.
I mean, her outfit was already pretty great before, but now she's literally wearing a corset
Yep.
with like stockings and garters
Yeah,
and like tight
it's all
leather.
very like
gloves.
leather latexy. I gotta tell you, when I was 12,
describe to
this was
the
very
science.
eye-opening for 12-year-old Christopher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, so that's why I like call older fashionable women. Yeah, so she kind of like does this weird freak out, and her whole like image is different. Instead of like the crown like above her
Well,
her head,
they're
her
kinda-
like she's
Yeah.
got like multiple like spikes that are a little similar to before, but they sweep back.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of just outwards. And she kind of gets like
Her
almost angry,
Her mask has like almost looks like a crack in it.
Yeah. It
like
has,
under
a
the
burn
eye
mark.
where the cheek is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where a beauty mark would be, it's actually like a burn,
Mm.
kind of scorched, and then there's like it looks.
Well, yeah,
It-
she
it look-
she says
yeah.
like
It looks like, basically, to me, it looks like something like a projectile hit her mask and cause it
Yeah.
to split, like cause it to crack in several
a crack
places.
on a windshield.
Yeah.
Like her mask is made of porcelain or something.
Well, yeah,
It looks like
it looks like
a,
porcelain. Yeah.
like a piece of old pottery, but you could tell it's like cracked underneath the enamel. You know, like an old dish.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, she freaks
Jesus,
out
yes.
at Air Doctor and Igor, and she's like, "Who made me look like this?" Because she's
Air
kind of like
Doctor's
taking herself
points at
in.
Bunnyfoot.
Yeah, he points
Like, "It wasn't me."
at Igor, and he's like shaking nervously, and then Igor
Igor's like,
turns around, his mouth is on the top, and his eyes in the middle. He's like
He
a
just-
malformed biome, and he's like,
he does this like
he's in front of her, he just like
laugh.
comes at, and I'm like,
Well done, Igor.
well
And
done.
she's like, I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. Much to Air Doctor's relief.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, thank you, brother, for bringing me back. I like the outfit. Well, I must be going now. And he presses a button on his, like, newfangled, like, arm
Well,
piece. It
what
showed
what we
Air
missed
Doctor asphyxing it earlier in the episode.
installing it.
Yeah, at the
onto
beginning of
his
this
arm.
scene, yeah.
Yeah. And the collar that's around her neck
Oh yeah.
glows green when he presses the button.
It's like a
Yeah.
shot collar.
And essentially, it's a shock collar. It's a torture
Yeah.
device to keep her under control.
She likes it.
Doesn't look like she does.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
so.
in this scene.
That's not practicing. That's not practicing proper BDSM.
Etiquette.
No
Yeah.
no aftercare going on.
There was
there.
no
No.
consensual non-consent
Yeah, no safe word.
regarded there. No.
Moving on, because brother and sister, it gets weird.
Sniddler's
it
just
weird?
like, I don't know anything about this stuff, so let's talk about something else.
Before Cal starts talking about ball gags. Anyways, so we go back to the game.
I think you should just go. No,
I need to show you guys some hexadecimal art I made.
Oh, groovy. Yeah, please.
We've also got some other artwork to share later
Yeah,
on.
hey.
On in the episode. So we'll.
It's kind of great.
Yeah, this is kind of.
We'll do that all. We'll do that all at the same time.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So back in the game, the Western dude's like, "No, there, Guardian. Why don't you save us?" Like mocking him.
I know that voice from somewhere. It's like a Simpsons character or something.
It does kind of sound familiar, doesn't
Guardian. Save
it? What's
us.
you got there? What's that? You've got a Guardian key tool? It barely worked. You might as well
Bob
just throw
used
sticks
his
at
once.
stones.
It was dynamite.
Yours is just a limp noodle.
Well, this one's broken. This one's broken, but it can tell us the game stats.
I didn't. Yeah.
Key tool.
Yeah.
Can't you just use your eyes? Look.
Leaping lizards, boy. Prospector.
So there's our Shakespeare in the Park moment for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so he's like, "Oh man, I can't get the game stats."
Oh, no.
And he's like, "Well, why don't you just look over there, dumbass?" And you turn around and there's a big vid window with like a
Yeah.
Looney Tunes like icon, and it says, what does it say? Rocky Raccoon.
Yeah, Rocky the Rabbit Raccoon.
Fireworks
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Man, I'm already tired of this user.
I feel
And,
like
we haven't even met him yet.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the user's main menu screen for this game.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Yeah.
So they reboot, and AndrAIa turns into a biker babe,
Yeah.
which I don't like.
Not a huge fan of the look.
They give her like
Oops.
bright
Apologies.
like makeup,
Yeah,
like
very.
and lipstick.
Have they ever seen a biker
jeans.
chick? Like,
Well, yeah,
the
the
bike's
Bad
nice.
Bob episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to what
Enzo is
Christopher
Elmer
was saying,
Fudd.
he's Elmer Fudd.
Very clearly
Literally,
Elmer Fudd.
jarringly, like kind of horrifyingly. He's got giant feet and like big hands, and his
And-
head is like mascot sized.
Yeah,
It's a
he's
bald
like,
Enzo.
his big
he's
head
bald.
mode.
Yeah.
And
Head
he
mode.
has human he has like Caucasian human colored skin too, which is
Yeah.
weird.
It's.
We've never
Yeah,
seen
so-
that in the show.
Uncanny Alley
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
I don't like. You don't like it?
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
No, I'm kind of looking like Enzo Elmer Fudd right now. Very round face, pale. So they meet
no
the
hair.
user, and it's a disgusting, slobbering, laughing, cackling,
Rabid
dirty,
Raccoon.
filthy,
Crack,
rabid raccoon.
Crackoon. There we go.
He's a crackoon.
Yeah.
He's a raccoon, and his eyes go
I
weird,
can't wait to
weird,
see the
weird,
fan
weird.
art for that.
And we see like biker babe AndrAIa, like in his pupils,
Yeah.
and he goes,
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh,"
Oh,
and he lays a wet one on her.
yeah.
Which I'm like, that is a goddamn child there, user.
Hey, it's a
Hey, the
game.
raccoon's probably like a year old. And then he runs faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the road does that
Taking the
thing.
pavement with him.
Yeah. The road does that thing where it flies up and then kind of settles.
So Enzo says, "Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting raccoon." And he just shoots like off into the desert.
Yeah.
And we quickly learn that this is a wacky, chaotic game.
Yeah.
Because the shot from the shotgun bounced off a rock, like hit the gas station nearby, knock a can of paint off. It's like Mousetrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of
Yeah. Basically,
all
it
of
is.
these like, different chain of events come into
Yeah.
into action.
And it all culminates with a
I was just gonna say
a gas pump emptying out all its gasoline and like the glass tank on the top turning into
Yeah.
a magnifying glass. The sun goes through it and it magnifies onto a
box of fireworks.
a detonator
a
detonator
thing.
wire detonator wire. Is that what they're
Yeah.
called?
A wick.
A fuse.
A
Fuse.
fuse.
Fuse, that's it.
Yeah. Fuse. So
With-
a fuse going.
Fireworks.
So it ignites like a fuse going to all the way to a box of a comically large box of fireworks.
Yeah. Of
The
course,
fireworks
right? Because why
shoot
not?
off. There's a vulture flying in the air. The fireworks hit the vulture.
And it turns into a
Vulture
turkey.
turns into a roast turkey.
Yeah.
This is very cartoonish.
This is
Oh, yeah.
That's a very Looney Tunes joke.
Yeah.
The cooked turkey tries to fly again, very
It just-
tropey, and it just
Yeah.
falls.
Yeah.
It shows
And,
the user. He's like dancing, making his way,
It's like
making
almost
his
at
way
the finish
downtown.
line or whatever.
and the turkey lands on his head.
Yep.
Yep. Very
And
Mr.
he's hit
Bean.
by a train.
Yeah, and he just so happened to be standing on a train track, and
Yeah.
a train comes from out of nowhere and kills him.
Yep. It's
So good luck
very,
beating this game. You got to embrace the madness. That's how you win this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the user has
Yeah.
multiple lives, so although they killed him, the game
Yeah.
hasn't ended.
Nope. You even see like a little ghostly like raccoon face with like the crossbones
Yeah.
like float up into the air.
Yeah.
And Enzo says something like one wife down, two to go.
Yeah.
And then the prospector, lucky shot.
So we cut back to the principal office, and Dot is all like talking to Mouse, and she's basically like, "Oh, I can't believe you let Enzo go into the game with a game sprite," and Fong is like, "With
He's
a game
quick to
sprite
remind her.
who
Yeah.
loves him," and
And she would
this
never do
this-
anything to hurt him.
yeah, and this
Mhm.
surprises Dot apparently because she's like, "What?"
Have you not been around them the last few weeks?
Yeah, right.
She's obviously like a friend, was obviously like had like a like a young kid crush on him like right away.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even if she didn't and they were just like friends, right?
Yeah.
She hasn't had like a single like malicious or mean bone. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
No, she's
Like she's never showed
she's-
any nefarious. Like they trust Mouse in the principal
support.
office, but she doesn't trust AndrAIa with Enzo.
Yeah,
One of
that's-
those people almost killed your brother,
Yeah.
and it was AndrAIa.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That was the first season. This is practically a new show at this point.
It's old news. Mouse and Dot are best friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fong reminds Dot that AndrAIa would never do anything to hurt Enzo or any one of them.
Yeah.
And Scott McNeil, Glasses Binom, chimes in and mentions that Megabyte's forces are already positioned to attack, and Fong tells Dot what we
outside
need
of the
is a
game.
plan outside of the game. Well,
Yeah.
he's like, my child, what we need is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And Dot sighs and is like, I think I'm all out of plans, Fong. Just tired and defeated. Which, considering like the last like few weeks they've had, like, I get it.
Yeah. Dot doesn't seem to be somebody that ever doesn't have a plan and a backup plan, but like, man,
She's worn
they've
out.
gone through some shit. Like
Yeah.
they're living in the principal office. Like all of Mainframe is like under attack. There's barely any CPUs left. It's not great.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good
No.
for them.
So we're back in the game, and AndrAIa and Enzo and the prospector guy are all riding on her motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't pertinent to the episode really at all, but I'm just gonna mention that I'm watching this on Crave, and for the American listeners, that is a Canadian exclusive streaming service. That's where we get all of our HBO shit. Like we don't really we don't get HBO Max up here, and like HBO up here is kind of bundled in with Crave, so that's not really relevant to anything. But so I'm watching ReBoot on Crave, and anytime Enzo in the game talks, the closed caption always prefaces it with Elmer Fudd accent in brackets.
Just in case you forgot.
Which, when I'm trying to, like, follow what's going on in the episode, like, just by reading the subtitles, like, that's really annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I got the impression that he has to speak like that in that reboot form.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like he's stuck speaking like that. Yeah.
He is, yeah. I'm just bitching about Crave's closed captions.
It should have mentioned that the first time he
Just
spoke,
in case,
and then never again.
Yeah.
Just in case hearing impaired people don't sound.
Well, presumably they're not cutting in the middle of the episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're all on the motorcycle.
Also, if you're deaf and have always been deaf, reading that in a closed caption is going to mean nothing to you.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, that was my point.
Like Elmer Fudd. You know what that sounds like, right? Don't you, deaf person? Good point.
That was what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're asking the hard-hitting questions here at Lasercomb Productions.
That's right.
We get right down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Right down.
So
low.
the raccoon swipes their motorcycle without them noticing.
It was
And
actually
they just do that
very
cartoon
comical.
thing where they keep moving even though the motorcycle's not underneath them.
Yeah.
And they all go tumbling and crash into a cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. I kind of hate this game.
Even as a kid, I actually didn't like this episode.
Yeah,
As an adult,
it
I don't
grew
like
on
the
me.
episode as much, but I like what's happening behind the scenes and off. the game.
Agreed. Yeah.
But the game,
And not to get too far ahead, but we may see Rocky Raccoon again in season 3 fairly soon. That game, I actually like a lot more than this one.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. I know the one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Rocky Raccoon is actually wearing a mask. They're
Yeah,
little
it's
straps
weird little strings on the back.
connecting his raccoon mask thing.
Hey, he's
Yeah.
got to disguise his identity so you can't pick him out in a line with a bunch of other rabid
Like
raccoons.
Robin.
Yeah, those
Like
fucked
Robin.
up
Robin
eyes.
wears the little thing like across his eyes and then
Yeah.
like
I think it's
boy
called
shorts
I
and
think it's called a
cape, and
domino
you can't tell
mask.
it's him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, domino
I think
mask.
I've heard that term.
Yeah.
Geez, what other characters wear it? Doesn't
Green Lantern wears it.
yeah,
Green Arrow wears it, but he also wears a hood. So
Right. Who's
Excuse me.
the driver for the Green Hornet? Is that what you said?
Kato.
Kato, yeah.
Kato wears a little thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always like, man, Christopher, if you saw me like beating somebody up downtown and I was just wearing like this little like mask that just showed like my eyes, you go, Cal, what the fuck are you doing? There's no way I could ever like hide my identity by just like hiding this part of my face.
Yeah.
Maybe against strangers, they just can't take a picture of you and identify you. And maybe
So-
when people are like, "Hey, I know that guy," it's not definitive proof, right? It's
So I
"Oh,
just
well,
pull
that
out
could
my
be
own
anybody."
domino mask and put one on and like go and join you.
Who's this guy? Why are we beating him up?
I don't know.
I don't know, but they'll never know. They'll never know it was us.
And it's just one of those ones you just press against your face and
Yeah.
it's on.
Oh jeez.
It's great. So Rocky, the rabid raccoon, has a missile silo.
A top
Yeah.
secret missile silo
He's got to walk it.
with a backwards S in missile. Because there's some
And-
signs that say there's a sign that says top secret missile silo with some
And he
arrows
jumps
pointing.
into the silo, and
Very
there's a
top
computer
secret.
voice that says level 1 or something.
Level 1 complete or something. Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Or yeah, he lifts up a skull, this like cow skull that has a button under it, and he presses the button, and it launches this big missile that came out of the silo, and that's what completes the level. The missile goes into space and then turns back around and heads toward them. And level 1 complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And AndrAIa, because things are gonna get dangerous, I guess she uses her nails to like paralyze the prospector.
Prospector decides that he's gonna not play anymore. But,
Right.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Enzo and is basically like, we gotta get out of here right now. And
they jump down to like a different level, which is like farmland.
And the prospector was like, no, I'll take my chances here.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And so
they had they had to paralyze him for his own good.
Yeah.
That has been so handy.
So we don't get deleted.
That's right. Her little paralysis like nails have been like useful every single time.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, it works on everyone.
So far,
with, like, the slightest touch. I presume she's immune to herself, otherwise she'd be like scratching herself.
Scratching and
just knock herself out. Although it would be easy to get to sleep at night. You could be like, oh man, I wonder how long it'll take me to get to sleep.
Yeah, well, maybe
we can dream, folks. We can
Where
dream.
it's so easy.
When you're over 30, you like start fantasizing about ways where you can go to sleep fast.
Yeah. Just drink a very large bottle of wine very quickly. You'll pass out like that.
True.
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong.
I might be speaking from experience.
Yeah.
So the next level is farmland, and there's the what's that famous painting? American Gothic? Is that what that's called? Of like
I think so.
the farmer holding the pitchfork.
Yeah, I think so.
The house in the back.
And with the wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what these two binomes are. Because he's got like the gold spectacle. And they're like, oh, what happened to him?
We rescued him
from Fargo.
Yeah, they got Midwestern accents.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, the woman sounds like she's from Fargo, and we learn that she's actually the binome.
I was gonna say it's probably the Fargo cop binome from last week's episode. Because it sounds like the same voice actress.
It's funny when this game ends. It's revealed momentarily that it is the cap wearing like Fargo binome.
The Fargo binome, yeah, that's her new. Yeah. That's her name, the Fargo binome.
So I like that there are minor but recurring characters like that.
Yeah,
it makes Mainframe feel a little bit more fleshed out.
Well, I mean, the show's kind of always had that, right? Like, look at how many times you see Toot guy, guy, and
I like that. Them introducing more characters, but them interacting with the main cast rather than just hanging out in the background.
Yeah,
like Toot guy's just always been chilling in the background.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever even heard him talk, have we?
Which one?
Toot
Maybe
guy.
When he was in a group.
No,
he might have said a line like early on, but like he hasn't spoken much, if at all. Can you imagine rebooting as the Scarecrow, and like committing to that part, just like being stuck on the wooden pole and
apparently
not
it's always
doing
good
anything
for
else,
anyways.
Not contributing to the game at all.
Yeah,
and like the sprites lose, and you hear "game over," user wins, and it's just like, well, I did my part.
I literally played the part that I rebooted.
Have binomes ever helped in a game in any substantial way, or have they always just hurt the game? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure they helped at least in a minor way in season 1, episode 1, the Terror. In like the space
so
battle.
they all seemed to play the game,
but they didn't help Bob too much. They kind of just
in the fodder. Also in the Quick and the Fed, you had Al, and Al's piloting a dragon.
They
And
They
I
were
think
there.
they did
They were
something.
present.
Yeah, and they took out the user in one.
They were technically assisting Bob there.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think
and then race the clock. They were all racing, and no one really won that one.
yeah. So
They tried.
Weren't
to
they
contribute.
crashing a lot though in that one?
Yes.
all of them got taken out.
Hey, I didn't say they
All
were
of them
good.
did.
I said they were
It
trying.
was just Bob and the user in the final lap where they turned into F1 jets.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Or no, they didn't even look like formula cars. They straight up just became like Harrier jets.
Hovercrafts.
That's
Hovercrafts.
right.
F-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even F-Zero. Weren't they just jets? Just
In the-
straight
the-
up jets.
In the third part of it, yeah.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, oh, the cars became jets, but no, they just straight up. They weren't even car jets. They just like completely became jets. Weird. It became very GTA at the end of that episode. Like,
Bit.
remember how it ends, Christopher?
Yeah.
Yeah, they crashed the game.
Yeah, by Dot stealing a fire truck. And
Yeah, and just
knocking
deciding
roads.
to just saying fuck it, and just she
Okay.
starts crashing through the
Yeah.
stands and everything.
We're like, that's an option?
Yeah, it's like, why don't they just do this every game?
That's a good point. Well, they do end up with some shenanigans in some games where
The
we
user's
go-
like smashing his keyboard. Like, why the fuck are all my games always crashing? God damn it! I
Yeah.
have all the latest Windows 3.1 updates.
What was the Evil Dead / Doom game they played last episode?
Evil Doom, malicious corpses.
Malicious corpses.
Malicious
yeah.
corpses. Imagine trying to show your friends the Michael Jackson zombie and the hot goth zombie at the end of that level, and they're like, "What are you talking about, man?" And you're like, "No, they were here, I swear." And you can like never recreate that again. They killed me. I was dead before dawn. I should have took screenshots. Well, you'll always have that memory to fab to.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyways, as chaotic as our conversations go, it's not as chaotic as this game because for some reason Rocky is playing whack-a-mole, but literally
Right.
Yeah.
he's actually trying to kill a mole that's like
And the
popping
moles
out of
look
different
weird.
holes, and I'm wondering how that progresses the user's level.
The closed caption for the moles
Points?
when they're like sticking their tongue out at him is speaking gibberish,
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's pretty much it.
which
That's all I caught.
but no, like the closed caption straight up just
Oh,
says
really?
speaking gibberish.
That's
But it's
funny.
like
Yeah.
they're not even really speaking.
taunting.
No. And
Taunting gibberish.
Now he's taunting us. This is just
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Rocky like opens
That was a red versus blue quote.
like an external
Storm
yeah, like a storm
Yeah.
cellar, and jumps away,
We're pretty
and
good.
Enzo's like, no, he reached the next level, and I'm
Well,
like,
he-
how do you
there's,
even know?
Well, no.
But when
he
you
said-
when
he
you
said he
reboot,
went-
you get information about the game too, right?
yeah.
So maybe he
He-
just
he
feels
went-
it.
To into a specific tunnel where there's an extra life coin.
Right, that's what he says.
Yeah.
They're extra life coins.
So they skip out. I don't know how they skip over, but they manage to get ahead of him and steal the life coin so that he can't get it.
Is that what they do here?
Wait, where
Is
are
it-
you guys?
Yeah, where are
'Cause-
you? I'm at
'cause,
the
like,
part where
I'm at the part
I'm
where
at 1839-ish, where Enzo and AndrAIa are talking with the binomes.
yeah, trying
like,
to convince because
convince them.
convince them to actually like come along and help.
Oh, sorry, I'm ahead. My apology. Yeah, okay.
You son of a bitch.
Hey,
Damn it, we all
hey.
have alternate cuts of this episode.
Mr. Start
We
4
do.
minutes in.
Hey, you jumped in right with me.
I did. I was like, okay, all right.
I was just gonna say,
Starting
like,
Not much happened before
And we'll
that anyway.
backtrack.
But what's interesting there is apparently there's a plan.
Look, I may not be Bob, and I'm only a little spite. But if we don't start working together, we'll all be deleted. Dagnabbit, the kid's right.
That kid's right.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to
for
become
sure.
a no. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, we gotta think of a plan here.
I like when they're like, "What happened to him?" And he's like, "Oh, we rescued him."
Yeah.
Oh,
You're not much like Bob, are you? When Bob rescued you, you stayed conscious.
Yeah.
I just remember.
Oh yeah, when Bob rescued you, you'd stay conscious. They kind of like do a huddle, and they whisper to each other.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Enzo
so
says that he has a plan.
I have a
The
plan.
viewer
It's the
doesn't quite
classic.
know what their plan is.
So
And
now,
there's
so
an
now
ex-human.
they're in the Temple of Doom.
Jesus Christ, that is a scary ex-human.
Yeah.
Oh, those are spiders with
Yeah, they're
human
little
eyeballs.
one-eyed spiders in the ex-human head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
The
Ew!
X-head.
What a terrible creature to exist. Can you imagine if like spiders the size of grapes just had like
We're just like an eye.
human-sized eyeballs instead of like little beady 8 ones? That'd be way worse than normal spiders,
Yeah.
which are already apex predators of the world. I mean, like evolution was like, hey, 2 eyes are working out. Why not 4? Hell, double it
Yep.
again. Have 8.
Yeah, according to producer John Peters, spiders are the most vicious killers in the insect kingdom.
He's not wrong.
Much like polar bears are the most vicious killers in the animal kingdom.
That's right.
This is
I mean, spiders are animals, but what are you gonna do?
This is a reference to a really old Kevin Smith bit from An Evening with Kevin Smith, which came out like in 2003.
You shared this with me.
Yeah,
before.
where he's talking about his experience working on the failed Superman Lives movie, like writing the script for Tim Burton and John Peters. And like John Peters is just this like really kooky guy.
It was supposed to be for Tim Burton too.
Yeah. Well, not originally, but then Tim Burton came onto the project eventually.
Some things should die before they are born.
With Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Have you seen the
suit?
There's photos
Yeah,
of
yeah.
him in it.
I remember when that actually all got leaked out.
Red.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
Like I would have watched it.
Yeah, no, photos of it leaked out while the late John Schnepp, may he rest in peace. He made a documentary years ago called "The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened."
Oh, I should check that out.
It's a really, really good documentary, and like the movie, like the Tim Burton Superman movie, sounded like it would have at least been interesting.
I don't know anything about it other than that it never got off the ground. But they
it got
Cage.
really far. Like it was weeks away from shooting when they pulled the plug on it. Like they had sets built, they had costumes.
Well, that's what I mean. They had set multiple fitted costumes for Nick Cage. But by the way, yeah, listeners, you don't have to go and watch anything, but just Google image search like Nicolas Cage or Nick Cage Superman.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
I don't even know
badass. Nick, yeah, look it up. It looked good on him. Like it
It's
kind of makes
amazing.
you wish.
It's an amazingly 90s.
It is.
Cage
But
looks
does
good in
it
that
does it
movie?
have super nipples?
And the suit that he's wearing is kind of inspired by the Living Energy Superman from the mid 90s that was going on in the comics after Superman came back to life.
I actually have one of those comics.
Yeah.
I'm not even a huge Superman fan. I've got like 2 Superman comics, but
And that's one
is-
of them.
Yeah.
The Superman that no one likes except me.
Yeah, he was like energy or like made of the sun or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And then he split into 2 Superman Red and Blue, and
That looks oddly okay.
right? Does it look oddly okay?
a ringing endorsement
weren't
from the
It's
Sniddler.
weird because it's Nick Cage.
Once you get
It
over
looks-
that though, it looks like he could like it
Everybody
looks
see
kind of
this?
rad.
Blimey.
Oh, that's not even the suit I was talking about. Like, that one looks really cool, but he also has an energy suit. There are photos of him, like, being fitted for his, like, living energy suit as well. That's pretty cool.
Energy suit. There's a... Oh, what the hell? I don't know. I'll find it later.
Oh, I've never even seen those.
All right, I'm Googling this now.
Crazy. Yeah.
10 out of 10. Man, his hair is long.
Welcome to Alphanumeric, where we talk about Nick Cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually doing great for time on this episode, so like
yeah,
we got time to bullshit.
I got much
wacky.
more to go this episode too, but this is fantastic. Nicolas Cage was Superman.
The Superman we could have had, folks.
Yeah, the Superman we got.
As I get
here we
older,
go.
I just look more and more like Nick Cage. Like my hairline just started moving up.
Yeah, look at me. I look
back.
like Nick Cage now. That's my Nick
If
Cage
I let my
impression.
hair out,
See,
what
what you got to do if you want to find the real the good photos is you got to use Bing search, folks.
Bing search. Blimey, I don't know. There's Bing in years. And even when I used it, I only used it. Sorry, Bing.
Bing image search gives you the most interesting pictures.
Yes, it does. Take a look at this.
And confirm.
You probably can't see it very well, but
Oh, that's a weird looking suit. That's crazy.
Just uploaded a picture of me cosplaying as Superman.
I cosplayed as Superman when I was 4 years old. It was Halloween, and the pictures.
is that even cosplay though, or is that just trick or treating?
I was joking. But yeah, I went as Superman one Halloween.
I Cosahedron every day. Sometimes twice a
I
day.
Cosahedron twice a day.
I go days without icosahedron.
Dang.
It's a sad
Icosahedron?
affair. I'm working on it.
You just gotta roll with the dice, you know. Oh.
Screenshot.
God damn it! How do I go back to the video?
Freeze frame.
That'll be the show art for this episode.
You finger gunning the.
The Nick Cage shot.
No, me finger gunning the camera.
Yeah.
Christopher, you need to use thumbnails that aren't just you looking good, but all of us looking good. You can't be like super charismatic and like posing for the camera, and Aiden and I are like.
No, I know, and
Like
like
the
the
last one?
screenshot that I shared
last one where I was
today
like-
for Too Much Energon. I tried to find one where we both actually looked alright.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Because it was always either one or the other. Like either you were like laughing or like I was laughing.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
That
So-
happens.
So we're in the Temple of Doom, and
Literally.
the binome there's like an obelisk there with like this the raccoon life coin that was mentioned earlier, and all of our heroes are like stacked on top of one another so they can reach it.
Yeah.
AndrAIa on top of Enzo, and the
Yeah.
prospector on top of her.
Yeah.
And Rocky shows up out of the darkness like the creepy little munchkin creature he is. And he's like, "Hey, lady, spare some pain." And what happens here?
Yeah, the roof
Somebody
the
drops a hose.
the ceiling opens up
manhole
and a hose
opens
is
up,
dropped
yeah.
so to pull them out, and Rocky gets killed by ghost binomes.
Yeah.
Ghost binomes.
Yeah.
X
And
binomes.
some so with some otherworldly moaning, according to the closed
I know,
caption.
it's very strange moments. You've seen the zero binomes? They look weird.
I was just saying what the
Yeah.
closed caption says.
Oh,
It literally says otherworldly moaning.
otherworldly moaning.
So, I was just
Wow.
talking about I'm not going to make a joke about that. I was just talking about how do the binomes even help?
Yeah, there you go.
And the reason I had brought that up is because I feel like they help way more in this one than any other game that's been on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
It took some coaxing, because I was telling Christopher earlier, I was like, I'm getting kind of tired of the razzing on Enzo for being a kid and being useless.
Yeah.
When
So
they're
it's good that
actually
they get
the
over
ones
that.
who are the more useless, not contributing anything. Kind of just going like, lay off, guys. Do something yourself then. You play. Yeah.
And there's cool. There's a Mohawk binom.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
work, Guardian.
Good
2 lives
work.
down, 1 to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the
And so we're
visual
in a
cue
subway?
that Rocky is dead because his like floating skull
Goes off
floats
to
up.
heaven.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're in like a New York subway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rocky's like panting. And he says, low energy.
Need food.
I love this.
And we get a reggae binom playing
We get a
some.
reggae. We get a Rasta bino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this song. I might throw it at
Yeah.
the end of the episode.
You should. It's good.
I love this. Yeah. Raccoon searching high and low.
Keep going.
going.
Food to make him go. When I catch him in my trap, gonna make me a raccoon nap.
And he pulls out a machete.
And he pulls out a massive machete.
Good fucking improv there. Wow. Even a decent Rasta accent.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what he says. I missed that. He says, gonna make me a raccoon hat.
Yeah.
So I like this because it feels like Enzo and the others are actually like, hey, like, yes, Enzo isn't as good as Bob, right? But
Yeah.
by needing to help Enzo's empowering all of the binomes. Like, hey guys, you don't just need to hide or do menial tasks. You can help win the game too.
Yeah.
So I'm coming around. I do kind of like this game more because of all the binomes.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't really matter what they do. Like, it matters, like everything else, because this one's clearly just doing whatever he rebooted in.
I like
Ribbon.
that
I'm not
intimidation tactic. He's just sitting there like playing a single string
Yeah.
slapper.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a machete.
He slap a de bass.
Slap it.
He does slap at the bass.
A slap a de bass.
Slap at the bass.
And this scene coming up here, I gotta say,
A slap a
one of
de
your favorite
bass.
Anybody wondering what the hell we're talking about? One of Christopher's favorite comedies is I Love You, Man.
I love you, man.
Yeah, it's a movie came out in
It's a great
2009.
movie.
Stars Paul Rudd and Jason Segel and Rashida
Yeah.
Jones. It's a hilarious movie.
And it's just like wholesome.
It is, yeah.
It's just nice. Like all the actors in it are just
Rush.
they just have
You gotta
fun.
love Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm a Rush nerd.
Yeah,
That's a good pan. All Rush all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, the basic plot of that film is like Paul Rudd plays a guy with no friends who's getting married, and he realizes he doesn't really have friends outside of his girlfriend and her friends. So he needs to make friends so he can have a best man for his wedding. It's a great setup for a comedy. And he
finds
it is.
he finds a friend who turns out to be like awesome.
yeah.
And the plot synopsis makes it seem like, could just be another one. But what really makes it is the performances of the actors and actresses.
Yeah, the actors are great. The script's really good. Like it follows like the kind of the buddy comedy structure to the letter, but it does it really, really well. All of the
Just
jokes
because
really
something
land.
is a trope and has been done 100 times doesn't mean it can't be funny.
Well, yeah, like tropes are tropes for a reason
Yeah.
because they work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the performances by the cast are just wonderful. They all have great chemistry with one another. It's a great film. I think it's one of the best comedies of the 2000s. This century.
The thing about
Wow.
everything turned yellowy on my end. The thing
Whoa.
about comedies is they always have to end with like a happy ending. But this doesn't feel like a forced happy ending. Like usually the climax is very near to the end of a comedy movie.
Yeah.
And then when they get over that, everything's okay, everybody's friends, and then they make up. I feel like it feels a little bit more natural
Yeah.
in it. But yeah, I love you, man. If you want something like lighthearted to like watch that's genuinely funny and you like Paul Rudd.
Everybody likes
Check
Paul
it out.
Rudd.
I
And
mean,
the Hulk.
yeah. What monsters don't?
Oh yeah, Lou Ferrigno is in it as himself.
Oh, that's right.
It's just awesome. Yeah.
No one cares about your
Ferrigno as
stupid
himself.
sandwiches, Peter.
I haven't watched that in years. I'm gonna revisit it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a few years now too. I think I have it on Blu-ray. Anyway,
This is very musical. Like even when Rocky is like shaking a he's shaking like a vending machine,
Yeah. The mashed potatoes.
the mashed potato vending machine with a picture of him on it.
Okay.
There's kind of a musical sound as he's like shaking it.
It's like it's like some
Like
like
gung, 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 gung.
tribal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cling, cling,
And he
cling,
turns
cling,
around and there's a binome just standing there holding a trench coat, a one
the trench
binome.
coat. And I'm
And
like, this is kind of creepy for.
he
for me.
opens it up and
Oh yeah,
Rocky
yeah,
the
the
Raccoon looks
flasher.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he flashes him, right? But I don't know if you guys caught that sound effect. He just stares in disbelief, and there's like a heavy like
Thud.
thud sound.
Just like
As if
what?
something massive and heavy slams against the ground.
Oh, I totally missed that.
It's
And then
yeah.
Rocky's eyes like shoot out, and he screams as he's staring at the floor, and he runs away. So
Bynum's just kind of like, and yeah,
Wow.
it's
This is
As a kid, you're
this is
like,
a children's show, damn it.
as an adult, you realize he releases his pet anaconda
He,
onto the floor.
he releases the Kraken.
like, yeah.
Wow.
And when he runs out of the subway, he's met with all the binomes that are
Yeah.
like all the angry
Pitchforks
townsfolk,
and- yeah.
right? So you got like a construction binome, you've got like a housewife binome holding like a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Construction worker with a shovel.
a
and,
Mohawk biker binome. Yeah. Oh, the construction binome even has his ass
He
crack
even have an ass crack hanging out.
going.
And armpit hairs.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually
Jesus.
kind of very detailed. Wow.
And they chase him down an alley.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they shut it off.
Yeah, and Rocky
Whoa.
flees into the alley and ends up stepping onto some tar, getting his feet
Yeah.
stuck. And a fucking steamroller shows up.
And who's
A fucking
driving it?
steamroller.
Fucking
With Enzo.
steamroller.
Fucking steamroller. Motherfuckers.
Is it a Mannheim steamroller?
And
Is it a Cleveland steamroller?
It's Stanley steamroller. And then they have to stop, and Enzo's
the
kind
maximal maneuver.
Runs
barely
over a
any
sandwich.
Yeah.
So
So
Enzo kind of stops to think, and he's
Enzo
going,
stop-
"Wait a minute."
yeah.
He goes to Andrea, and he's like, "What about your icon? What if it doesn't work?"
Yo,
She doesn't
icon!
really-
What if it doesn't work?
Exactly, you're better.
And she just takes his hand because his hand is
Yeah.
on the stick shift,
And shifts into turbo.
and shifts
Yeah.
it back into gear, and they run Rocky the Raccoon over together. And I like that. Not only is she like super supportive of Enzo, I feel like
Yeah.
he kind of wouldn't have gotten this far without her.
He
Actually.
needs her. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's-
She's also really fearless.
Yeah.
which is what he needs, which is what
Just-
Mainframe needs.
This is one of the reasons I'm really loving Reboot as a whole, is because there's no weak women in this. You know what I mean? Like, they're all written as very, very strong characters, which I really, really appreciate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're like,
And their roles aren't what you'd think, like stereotypically what a woman's role should, I'm using air quotes for listeners, be.
Oh,
And
yeah.
indeed the men's roles aren't what they should be.
it's true.
Right? Like some of the like Hexadecimal is more powerful than her brother, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's built
Yeah.
like a brick shithouse, right? Dot always has a plan,
Brick
even though Bob
shithouse.
is the guardian,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Enzo is emotional and is constantly like second guessing himself, and AndrAIa shows up and she's
he's a
very
kid
positive
still.
of her own. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like what is it? Like Dot when she's in like the exoskeleton loader, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like from Alien.
the women,
But Bob's weapon is like a wrist gun. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
I feel like you're right. Yeah.
It's
it does a
pretty
good
awesome
job.
how, yeah, they're not like stereotypical roles.
Oh shit! Someone called
You know,
the cops.
Like you said, I know. I live next to,
Good for you,
staying right next
Sniddler.
to it. So
It's the reboot police.
let's just let it
You're not
pass.
talking about reboot enough.
It's ABC.
It's the ABCs. They're after me. They've turned on us. Yeah, no, I just
BS&P,
really
motherfucker.
like that. So like everything from Dot, Mouse, AndrAIa, they're still, still have that feminine side, but they still kick ass. And I just think that's like one of the coolest things about this show. Anyways, trailing off from the episode, but I just had to bring, because I appreciate that hugely.
Well, it's interesting too because it kind of spins, lesser to extent, but it spins what what masculine roles should or shouldn't be too.
Yeah.
Right? Like Bob. Like Bob was terrible with cars. But he felt that whole like, but men should know how to fix their own car. Right? But he
Anybody
never
should
could
learn how to fix a car.
And then
But, yeah,
or basic maintenance. Like
of course.
slight sidebar, but everybody knowing how to like change a tire or knowing how basic first aid, like all that's what home ec should be.
Everyone in
So-
Mainframe,
It keeps you alive. Anyways,
everyone in Mainframe entertainment isn't equal.
So one thing I want to point
Very
out
close.
in the bits that we skipped over at the beginning, we actually skipped over something I really wanted to talk about, which was the Star Trek First Contact reference.
that was in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's touch on that before we end the game and move on to the next scene. Yeah, there's a First Contact reference.
Yeah, so early on, like about 3 minutes into the episode or so, when Megabyte is like in the destroyed sector.
Line drawn here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the destroyed sector, like from the GameCube, Megabyte comes in with a vid window, and he's all like, "Surrender your PIDs to me, and swear loyalty to me, or pay the penalty." And a binom who straight up looks like Captain Picard, like right in a Next Generation Starfleet uniform and all, is like, "Surrender our PIDs to you? We're tired of living in fear. The line must be drawn here."
Is that the one that gets killed?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like that's a line from Star Trek First
That's from
Contact.
First
It's actually a
Contact,
really
yeah.
great speech that Picard gives in that film.
Yep.
And
The difference is Picard wasn't lasered.
I like the Star Trek references in the show.
The Star Trek references.
and so Megabyte has him deleted, and then says, "As you may have noticed, resistance is futile."
Is futile, which is the Borg.
The Borg.
The Borg. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Star Trek
Yeah.
First Contact, the antagonists of that film were the Borg.
Yeah,
And-
good point. That was something we should have brought up, but we're
Yeah,
bringing
and
it
I
up.
wanted to
I
bring
didn't
that
even
up.
think to bring that up. I don't know
Like,
why.
damn it.
Um,
I noticed the reference, but
like Star Trek First Contact came out in 96, and this episode was on in 97, so it was actually a pretty topical pop culture
Yeah.
reference for the time.
and for anybody that kind of came into their adulthood in the 2000s or whatever, yes, there's always been Trekkie nerds, but like Star Trek was pretty popular, man.
Yeah.
In the 90s, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid. Sorry, give me 1 second
Hello.
here.
Where are you going?
His hat matches his microphone.
Yes.
No, I just noticed that I couldn't move my mouse, and like the cord had gotten caught under one of the legs of the table.
It's restart time. Hard reset.
Nope. Pressing on. This is all going in the
later in
episode.
the series.
But yeah, no. Growing up in the 90s, like I was a child when Star Trek: The Next Generation was actually airing. Like I remember watching.
Oh, it was always on.
I remember I'm at a point now because I've been rewatching through the show. I think I've mentioned on the show before, but I've been rewatching through Next Generation slowly on Netflix over the course of the past like year or so. And I'm actually at the point now, I'm in like season 6, and for like the past like already couple of seasons, I'm watching episodes that I straight up remember watching as a kid, like when they originally aired.
That must be weird.
It is, because it's like I'm like, I'll see the cold open, and I'm like, if when we come back from commercial, it's like, we open in this scene, it's this episode. And like, I'm always right about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yes, right, it is this episode. But yeah, and I didn't know anyone my age at the time who didn't like Star Trek, at least Next Generation. So like every kid in my class, like pretty much like liked Star Trek.
I was a bit younger, and maybe it was because we were a bit younger or what, but I didn't know a single person in my class growing up that watched Star Trek. But they all watched Friends.
That's sad.
Yeah, so
Friends is funny.
Friends is...
it's a thing.
Yeah. I'm not I don't disparage the show.
It was on. Yeah.
They ain't no reboot.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Rocket,
They run him over.
Yeah.
They run Rocky.
They run amok, if you will.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of like a skull and crossbones, it's his actual like ghost.
Yeah.
It goes up and game over.
Yeah.
Game over, man. Game over.
And we get to see all of them.
Over, man.
We get to see all the binomes as they are in Mainframe.
Yeah,
right?
and I thought this was really funny.
We see that
one of them was apparently graduating.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was
The
graduating.
Scarecrow.
The prospector.
That's funny. The dumbest.
The
one.
prospector looks like a
is
banker.
actually a businessman.
Victorian.
And if you look at the far right, there's Sailor Moon.
Wait.
Yes.
One of the binomes is cosplaying as Sailor Moon.
That's funny.
There's a priest, the guy who was the Gothic husband.
American Gothic.
Yeah, American Gothic. Yeah, he looks like a priest. And you have Scarecrow, who's wearing a grad gown and a mortarboard.
And they're all cheering. So I feel like this was a win for them.
But wait, where's AndrAIa?
And the graduate.
The graduate.
Yeah, the graduate. He's like, and, like gestures behind him, and she's right there. She's fine.
Yeah.
She survived.
Little
her icon.
drama. Yeah.
Your
So
icon. It worked. I mean, it worked.
Apparently. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Guardian. It looks like we got another problem.
Yeah, the sky is
there's
full
like-
of ABCs.
Yeah,
And
like 15 of them.
surrender. Resistance is useless. Now it's not futile. Now it's useless.
Yeah. I guess they
It's
could only
useless.
use that line.
And they all run away because Enzo takes a step forward fearsomely, fearlessly.
Yeah.
And he's
And he
like, hey,
does.
what did I do? And behind them, they actually see a whole bunch of CPUs.
Cardboard cutouts
The
of CPUs.
Cardboard cutouts of
But-
CPUs.
They're not only cardboard cutouts of CPUs. Keep in mind, it's just about the same number of CPUs as there were like the ABC tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the tanks, as the show has proven, are vastly
10
superior
times more. Yeah.
to. They have multiple guns on them compared to the cruisers.
Yeah, the
Right.
Of the
cruisers
CPUs. So
destroyed
why did they run
themselves.
away?
Yeah.
They disobeyed Megatron. Oh, there it is, folks.
Here we
I have
go.
to call Megabyte Megatron at least once per episode. They
Bob's
disobeyed
Burgers
Megabyte
with
orders.
Megatron.
I would watch that.
That was a joke that Sniddler made in a really early episode of the show.
Oh,
Bob's
I remember
Burgers.
that.
Yeah.
I really like Bob's Burgers.
I for a while I was working on a project of like making like an episode 0 of the show, of just like cutting together like all of the funniest bits of every episode, and that just became like too laborious, so that kind of evolved into just making like 2 or 3 minute trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do we got going here? All of the CPU cruisers
The
are
turn
actually
and run.
cardboard. And Enzo's like, they fell for the same plan twice. Megabyte is going to be very, very angry.
And they all laugh.
The old binom maneuver.
Yeah.
The old binom maneuver.
Yep.
And everybody laughs.
And that's the end of the episode.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
So,
We're not there yet.
Bum, 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 bum. Okay.
all right, you're cut
Are
off.
you done? You fucking done? Have you had enough?
Done. I'm done.
Are we still doing this?
No.
Is this still
It's still
happening?
happening.
Is it still happening?
Beast mode.
Before we do our our scoring, does anybody have anything insightful to say about between a raccoon and a hard place?
No. I'll say what I have to say after when we get into the ranking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shall I take it away with the ranking system?
Do it.
Sure. I opened it. You can close it.
Oh, whoop, that's the wrong one. Alphanumeric. We almost did the wrong podcast. Alphanumeric's got a four-point ranking system here, and it starts on the bottom with that was bad, very bad. Those are the worst episodes that we've seen, or we could just do without them. I don't think so. Those are episodes that aren't offensive to our senses, but they don't lend anything. We don't really want to watch them again. 2, that was easy enough. That was easy enough are like episodes that are okay. They're almost good. They're
Like-
missing something.
Yeah.
And the episodes that are very good, that we like rewatching, that we like talk about, that are important,
North.
cream of the crop, are
When the
alphanumeric.
cream rises to the top.
The cream.
So, Sniddler,
Mm.
what's your alphanumeric rating for this episode? A raccoon and a hard place.
You know what? I didn't like this episode to be like when I first saw it. It kind of grew on me.
Yeah, I liked it more watching it this time.
I'm gonna give it an alphanumeric for me. Like
Wow.
between, yeah, actually a higher than more alphanumeric.
Boy.
Because honestly,
What?
like I just like the references. I didn't like the game at first, but then kind of as things progressed, I was like, you know what, this is actually a pretty good episode because you know, they give Enzo some more room. There's a lot of really creative stuff. Also, I was I was a big fan of Looney Tunes when I was still on, I guess. So I just thought there was some creative stuff, even though it was like painfully cheesy in some areas. But
It was less cringe than I remember.
yeah. Also bringing up the whole thing about how Andrea's what was I gonna say there? Oh, weird. How AndrAIa super supportive and basically risked her existence in the system or whatever to help Enzo redeem himself as a guardian. And in turn actually kind of, saved Enzo because, self-esteem was crashing and it's like, I'm nothing. Like, this is even, like, why am I even here? I'm the worst guardian ever. And then at the end of it, he was feeling, even though he wasn't the reason they all ran, he was feeling confident enough to step up to them and say something.
There was some character development.
There was a lot of character development, and yeah, that's mine. That's mine. That's
right.
That's where I'm at.
Is that your final answer?
Too late.
And I like the rest of Binome, because
that's fair.
Yeah,
because you're a fan.
And
that's probably the best part of the episode, I think.
And I love mashed potatoes, so like I really related to the role of Rocky the Rabid Raccoon.
When you're just so hungry, you wish there was
I wish there was a lot of bad eating in a vending machine thing of mashed potatoes.
Would you eat mashed potatoes from a vending machine? Don't lie.
If I was a rabid raccoon, yes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
But as a human being, no.
That's correct. We have the ability to make our own mashed potatoes.
It's true. Opposable thumbs.
Well, raccoons have thumbs.
But they can't work an oven.
Not that I've seen.
No.
But they can rock the Casbah.
They can
rock the Casbah.
The Casbah. Alphanumeric.
Christopher, do you really don't like it? Rock the Casbah?
I am not
What's
a
your
Sharif.
rating?
I'm not a Sharif, so
no, sir.
I do actually like it.
Okay.
Quick sidebar: when I was a kid hearing that song, I thought he was saying "fuck the Jaguar."
You heard "Rock the Casbah"
as "fuck the Jaguar."
Yeah.
When I was like 10. And the first time I ever heard this song was because our next door neighbor would always get like day drunk and like blast music, like 70s music during the day. And that was the first time I heard that song. So I was hearing it through a wall.
Okay, so that's fair. Your first formative moments were through a wall.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead of "rock the Casbah," I thought he was saying "fuck the Jaguar."
That's kind of great.
I never knew what they were saying when they were like
parody that.
When they were like, "Sharif, don't like it." I had no idea what they were saying. I thought they were saying like, "Share if you don't like it." Share if you don't like it.
Share if you
New
don't
sheriff
like
in
this.
town, and you're not you ain't gonna like it.
Yeah.
Or share if you don't like it. I'm gonna tweet that.
That's what I thought they were saying. Share if you don't like it.
Share if you don't like this. No, that's actually kind of.
Share if you don't like this.
Like, why would you?
Maybe you
like
should
this
start believing in life
podcast?
after love.
Oh God. I grew up with adults in my life that were huge Cher fans.
Yeah.
That's all. No story to that.
No.
All right.
Christopher, what's your rating? Your
It's a very
alphanumeric
low.
rating?
It's a very low. That was easy enough. Didn't like the game at all. I liked the raccoon hat guy. Gonna make me a raccoon hat. I liked that guy. That was like
And
the
his,
only.
His like big like beanie.
Yeah.
Like holding his hair is like swaying back and forth. And
Yeah.
he's slapping a bass.
Like he's about ready to like bust out a game of hacky sack, you know.
Yeah. Maybe you should record a cleaner version of that, Sniddler, and we'll do that for the open transition.
Cool. I wonder how it came through on there.
Oh, it was fine.
Yeah, it sounded great.
I liked it. So it's getting it. That was easy enough for me.
Yeah, I didn't like the game. I liked. I basically liked everything outside of the game, but because the game ate up like so much, like it ate up like screen time for like half the episode.
Whereas I wanted to see hexadecimal more, how she's dealing with her shock collar, a little bit more of Megabyte.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it touched on everything pretty well though. Like what's Megabyte up to? What happened to Hex?
Yeah.
What's Mouse up to? What's Dot up to? It touched on everything. But
I feel like they're still kind of finding their footing in terms of serialized storytelling at this point.
I feel like the game is them showing off that they can do different things by making that wacky episode.
Yeah.
Showing off what they can do with 3D animation. Definitely. Yeah, it gets my rating is that was easy enough as well. I really liked the binomes. Almost got an alphanumeric for me. I really liked the binomes working together with Enzo. Good character development. Showing that people in Mainframe recognize him, are changing their minds about him. And it's funny because they're building up that people are starting to like Enzo and AndrAIa, and they're starting to fight back against Megabyte.
Yeah.
So it's funny that all of this is like coming together to a certain, because like the end of season 2 was a big like WTF moment. Like, what do we do now? Like, wow, things are bad, and it's
how
kind
bad are
of
they?
setting us.
Are they very bad?
Very bad. And they were very bad before. When I was a kid, I was not ready for how quickly things get very bad again.
Yeah.
But we'll touch on that when it comes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yep.
So
Indeed-a-roo.
that has been the second episode of season 3 of ReBoot, between a raccoon and a hard place.
What's the hard place? Is it a steamroller?
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably the Stanley Steamroller.
It's a rock. A rock just
Yes.
waiting for someone to pull the old maximal maneuver on it.
Yeah. Please hide behind me.
So, one thing I wanted to bring up is we actually had a first here on the Alphanumeric podcast. Someone drew some fan art.
Yeah.
Which is a play on me misspeaking from what episode was that?
I think that was last week's
It was
episode.
last
wasn't it?
Is it
episode.
last week's episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am not an eloquent speaker, and I basically I had called Hair Doctor
Stupid thing.
Air Doctor.
Yeah.
Dad, Mom, I know
And
that you've
then
been together. Someone, Sniddler or
Air
Christopher
Doctor?
Siege called me out on it, and I was like, you know what, I'm owning it. And we made a little
Yeah.
joke about,
Yeah.
you know what, Air Doctor, and like his arms stretched out like the Air Jordan
Yeah.
symbol,
Do we
his
have
legs
that?
broke apart, and a listener must have.
Yeah.
We have it with us.
So, regular commenter, Cone Killer Confusor, posted this to
10 out
Instagram.
of 10.
It's just amazing.
Air Doctor.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That should be on a shirt, to be honest.
Oh,
Hey, I'd wear it.
yeah, maybe we'll talk with him.
Yeah, well, we'll have to bring that up with
Good
him.
shirt design.
It's
Yeah.
Killer Confusor, because that's good.
Yeah. Maybe we can
It's a great
work something
great
out.
t-shirt art. Yeah.
Cal, you also have some art you wanted to share, didn't you?
I'll share that later.
Don't have a picture of hexadecimal?
I do. Maybe I'll
Okay,
I'll
sure.
send it to one of you if you want to share it on Twitter, or maybe I will create a Twitter just for Lasercomb production stuff. I'm an old man that like doesn't have any social media stuff, so I'll get around to doing it.
Fair.
Need to get on that.
Yeah, I will. Maybe that'll be my first post. You can see my hexadecimal art, and then we'll lose some listeners or gain some.
Maybe,
I don't
maybe,
know.
Share if you don't like it. Yeah.
maybe both.
Share if you don't like it. A little bit of both.
All right. Speaking of social media, Cal, where can people find us?
Well, you can find us at Facebook. We are Lasercomb Productions on there. You can also find us on our website at Lasercomb. Is it just lasercombpodcast.ca?
No, it's alphanumericpodcast.ca.
Apple Numeric.
Oh, we don't have a
W-
central hub.
Not
Right,
yet.
W-
right.
We're
I'm
working
silly.
on that.
I'm being silly. Alphanumericpodcast.ca. www.alphanumericpodcast.ca. We also have another podcast, another Lasercomb podcast. It's Christopher and I talking about Beast Wars. So if you want a more adult show with robots in disguise
And fucking
hiding
eye
behind
lasers.
rocks
Hiding behind
and
rocks.
shooting eye lasers, it's basically this.
Yep.
If you want to see Christopher riding a rhino and me shooting eye lasers,
Yeah.
go listen to Too Much Energon.
We actually just recently made, on the latest episode of that, Transmutate, we made the jump to video on that show as well.
Bruh.
So
I know.
on the same YouTube channel that you're watching this, you can also check out the video
Check out that.
podcast for Beast Wars.
Yeah. And if you've never watched that when you were younger and you're listening to this show, it's on Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi TV. It's free. Pretty good. Like I'm an adult and I'm rewatching it all alongside Christopher, and I'm catching up on episodes I missed. And just like ReBoot, it's good. Like even now, and if you have young kids, like 10-ish, perfect for them, especially if they like Transformers. I'm missing some plugs. Christopher, you have a Twitter?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Lasercomb, LAZORCOMB, and I'm also on Instagram at Christopher Siege, SIEGE. You'd be amazed at how many people screw that up.
And
Siege, SEEJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
That's it.
That. Cheers.
And
That.
Sniddler, I hear that you have sort of Twitter sphere.
I also am on the Twitter sphere. If you feel so inclined, come say hi to me. AP Sniddler. AP Sniddler.
There you go.
SNIDDLER.
Yeah, he's way better at the Twitter thing than I am.
Thank you to one of my followers for sending me a
What?
trinket in the mail. Yeah. I got.
No way.
I used to have one of these when I was a kid, and it was in a movie. I had all the things. But
Is that
it was
like a Mighty Max thing?
kind of, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so
To
fucking
ReBoot.
jealous.
And I got a little
Mighty Max,
text.
but it's ReBoot themed.
basically, and there's a little Enzo here. It's
They got
missing a
little
couple
magnets
parts,
in them?
but I got the thing, and it's pretty great. And also want to give a shout out.
Wow.
Also want to give a shout out to Cherry Bomb Toys, because I managed to...
Who sold me a broken toy the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Womp.
The entire set. Do you remember when Pizza Hut was giving out ReBoot figurines, like back in like 95? When Pizza Hut was a restaurant? I'm really dating myself here. I think we're all dating ourselves here. But yeah.
I only remember their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Basically, I've got Frisket.
Wow.
Holy
both
shit.
Enzos. There's a Fong here. There's a Dot. I got
In the original packages.
in the original package. It's never been opened. It's a Megabyte.
Oh, and Megabyte. What's he holding?
Another Megabyte. Oh, this is hexadecimal. But that is
Megabyte cosplaying as hexadecimal.
He's
Remember
holding
in
the
remember in the
vest
tearing?
gun in
Yeah,
the tear.
the gun thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
It's not an iconic Megabyte weapon, but that'll do. Oh, there
Another
there he
version.
is, posing.
And
Anyone listening, he's showing us his toys.
Yeah.
They're cool though.
Boom.
Oh,
Hack and
North
slash. And there you go. So quite a score. Big shout out to Toys in Victoria. Broad Street.
Cherry Bomb Toys is a local
They're like
retro
nostalgia. A lot of GI
That's a good way
Joe,
to put
Power
it.
Rangers, a lot of Transformer stuff there. And,
TMNT, yeah.
Yeah.
Retro
a lot of the stuff that-
toys.
Yeah. Old and new, small selection of new stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that we.
I'm
grew
glad
up
that
with.
they've managed to stay in business for this long.
Dude, they are such a treasure to Victoria. They really, really. You never know what you're gonna find when you go in.
Who sold me a broken toy the other day?
Oh no!
I'm a little salty
I can
about
demand
that.
satisfaction.
No, I bought a Beast Machines Cheetor there, and you wouldn't know this until you try to transform the figure because his Beast Mode head is housed inside his chest cavity, but his Beast Mode head is gone, and they don't take returns or exchanges right now because of COVID.
How could you have known that?
Exactly. How could I have known that? And in their defense, how could they have known that? But there was nothing indicated on the on it that, and like I even asked the guy if it was complete. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. That was a waste of $45.
Was it Christopher?
Yeah, it's a broken toy.
Well, there you go.
And the joints are really loose too, so I can't even stand him up and display him in robot mode, so it's basically trash.
Unless you super glue him in a pose. Or is
Yeah.
that heresy? Did I just offend
No, I had someone suggest that to me. Not trying to throw shade at Cherry Bomb. That's just a thing that's very fresh in my mind right now.
No. Well, that really sucks. Sorry to hear that.
Ah, well.
So,
Yeah.
listeners, next week, what's next week's episode, folks?
Firewall.
Firewall.
With a intro that is a complete riff on Goldfinger.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Even it's
Yeah, watch the
Wow.
intro to that episode and then watch the intro and listen to the song for the movie, the Bond film Goldfinger. It's
yeah.
it's very clear.
Yeah. And that's all we'll say about that, other than the fact that
Cheers.
All right, we're running out of time, you crazy kids.
Yeah, we've cracked the 2-hour mark, so
We have.
we will see you again next week, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
Until then, I've been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I've been another host, AP Sniddler.
And I am the last host, NeoCal.
And until next week, Air Doctor.
Share if you don't like it.
And stay frosty.
Gonna go out with the old usual.
I am, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Maintain eye contact.
Is this still happening?
Pretend my screen froze.
Is it broke? Is it on standby? What's up? Bye, everybody.
Is there more to this than that?
Raccoon searching high and low for the food to make him go. If I catch him in my trap, gonna make me a raccoon hat.